In this lesson, I'm going to show you the healing brush, which is a great way to remove any blemishes in your photo or also to clone one part of your photo and add it to another part. So if you click on this healing brush tool right here, it looks like a little band-aid. What you'll see is a little circular mouse now. It's your little brush. Let's zoom in. What I'm actually going to do is press the space bar to get my zoom tool, click into my face, and now I can also click and move around. Say I had a pimple, or if I want to get rid of one of these freckles, you can adjust the size of your brush here. You could also adjust the feathering, which is the edge, to make the edge a little bit softer. And also the opacity. I would leave that at 100% if you are trying to remove something completely. And then literally just click and drag around, cover up that pimple or that freckle. And what Lightroom does is it takes another part of the skin that is a similar sort of color and exposure and texture, and it blends it with that part that you want to get rid of. So you can see here, this little circle is the one that we wanted to remove. It's taking from this area. If I move this area to my eye, for example, it's not going to look so good because it's saying that I want to blend my eye into the skin. That doesn't work. So you want to make sure that this second point sort of matches the color and the texture and exposure of the skin. Even if I put it down here, it might not look as good because it's a little bit brighter. It's a little bit more yellow there compared to red up here. So that's the heal brush. You also have the clone brush right here. So in a similar way, the clone brush can be used to remove blemishes, but here's what happens. So let me move over. Let's see this freckle right here. Say I click that right there. What happens is it creates the second part that it's pulling from, but it doesn't try to blend it in like it did with the healing brush. It's literally just like a copy and paste. If I drag this over to my lips here, for example, it's literally taking my lips and copying it there. If I drop the opacity here, you can kind of see what's happening with the opacity where it makes the part you're copying a little less opaque, the part you're cloning. So this isn't good for necessarily removing blemishes in that sense, but what you can do is clone something. What if I want to put a third eye on my forehead? I can increase the size of my brush. I click where I want to clone the thing, then drag this selection part to my eye. Pretty crazy, right? So now we have this cloned eye on my forehead. So that's not very practical. To delete this, just select it and click the delete key. Maybe something that would be a little bit more practical is if we wanted to go into this photo, let's zoom out, and we want to increase the number of stars in the sky. So we would take the clone brush, paint over here where there's no stars, and then take this selection point to where there is a star, and now we have a star there. Maybe drop the opacity just a little bit so it blends in a little bit more. So that's the clone and the healing brush. It's a great way to quickly remove any blemishes or make duplications on your photos.